Let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room, which is Sir Horny Cole, and obviously spoilers. I'll structure this review with talking about the negatives first, and then branching into the positives, since they were scattered around the episode. I think this was the first time that the writing left me genuinely puzzled, and I laughed a couple times from how absurd some of the twists were. So let's preface the Kristen Cole conundrum with the question of, how long has it been between episodes 4 and 5? Because have they been having sex for like months to a year? And that is why Sir Kristen is so head over heels for Rhaenyra? It currently comes across as not that much time has passed, and we're picking up relatively quickly to where we left off in regards to their quote-unquote relationship. If they made it clear that it's been quite a bit of time through the dialogue, then I could excuse Sir Kristen's obsession, but that's not the impression I got. There was no dialogue like, oh, our time together for these last few months have been dear to me, or whatever, to tell us how long it's been. Instead, Sir Kristen comes off really strong and fast, to the point of it feeling ridiculous. Like, oh, leave everything behind and screw the Iron Throne, and come live with me in Essos. Of course she's going to say no, you dumbass. It's just so stereotypical and tropey for him to say this, and it feels dumb for his character to go down this blind love route. Unless if Sir Kristen all along was pretty stupid, but he never gave off that impression, and he always seemed pretty sharp and observant. Even when he does give in to his desires, he knows what he's doing is wrong, but he decides to do it anyways. He's not just diving into the deep end without knowing the consequences, right? So to me, it's just weird for him to be telling Rhaenyra this. Then this leads into the dinner for the wedding ceremony. During the entire duration of this scene, Sir Kristen Cole, for whatever reason, has his helmet off for the entire feast, despite all the other Kingsguard having their helmets on in the background. Now, this is actually a very important factor for what happens later, so I don't know why Sir Kristen has his off despite him saying he's on duty. Not only this, but Sir Kristen is just staring at Rhaenyra with an upset expression for a very long duration, so any dimwit with eyes could piece together what he's feeling. To me, it just comes across as the writers needing a way for Joffrey to naturally figure out that Sir Kristen is obsessed with Rhaenyra so they can have a contrived confrontation. And then after this, I guess Sir Kristen just breaks out of nowhere and beats the life out of Joffrey? Why didn't anyone stop him? Why are the guards in the background just standing there? Why is this entire wedding turning into a violent mosh pit after Sir Kristen attacks one person? What is happening right now? There's so many aspects about this whole scenario that just doesn't make sense to me. Now, the issue isn't the presentation that is supposed to be intentionally confusing due to the perspective we're witnessing the event from, but more of the logic behind everything and the character motivations. Also, is he still technically a Kingsguard after this whole scenario? Shouldn't they be putting him in holding? There's so much confusion around all of this, and I desperately need them to address this in the next episode. Although I kind of doubt that's going to happen since they seem to be doing a major time jump. I've seen some counter-arguments that the Kingsguard have high authority and no one questions their judgment, so Sir Kristen doing this is passable because he can say that Joffrey pulled a knife on Rhaenyra. Which, firstly, Sir Kristen is already upset that he's damaging his honor, so lying on top of everything would theoretically make things worse. And secondly, there are dozens of witnesses close by that could easily detest any claims that Sir Kristen makes. In the books, Kristen apparently kills Joffrey in tournament combats, and to me, that seems much more natural than blatantly executing him in front of dozens of lords that portrays Kristen as being unstable and crazy. I feel like they need to clarify things a bit and see some of the ramifications and character reactions to what just happened, but it seems like that's not going to be the case. Even the scene after this where Sir Kristen is about to kill himself suddenly was jarring. What is going on with my boy that I loved? Is Rhaenyra so amazing in the sheets that Sir Kristen is losing his mind over her and killing himself as if this is some kind of Shakespearean play? Then Alicent randomly walks in and interrupts him right before he's about to end it all. Like, what? What a coincidence and great timing. This is such a contrived scenario to make us think that he's actually about to kill himself, just so that she can walk in and stop him. The writing took a major downturn for the last 10 minutes. Even before all this, where Alicent was questioning him about Rhaenyra potentially having sex, he instantly turns into a moron. She didn't even finish what she was saying and Kristen immediately admits to everything. Like, what the hell, man? Sir Kristen went from a character that I really liked to someone who's literally doing an any % speedrun and ruining his life. So yeah, everything surrounding Sir Kristen is really bothering me, so let's move on and talk about some of the positives. The opening scene in the Vale was really gorgeous, and I love that they are filming in real locations and aren't reliant on the volume. Lady Rhea, for the short screen time that she had, seemed like a competent and independent character. A shame that Daemon took her out of the show so quickly. Which, this is kind of a nitpick, but has Daemon been standing here waiting for her? If so, wouldn't that be convenient for him to only run into her and no one else? Or was he scouting in the mountains or something and quickly came down? I don't know, I'm thinking about this more critically since Sir Kristen kind of set me off. But the scene ends with a banger match cut, so any small flaw is forgiven. Otto Hightower has one quick dialogue scene with Alicent, and is easily one of my favorite scenes in the episode. It's emotionally charged throughout. Otto is further manipulating Alicent by stoking her fears, and the information that Rhaenyra will possibly kill Alicent's children is heartbreaking. I really hope this isn't the last we see of Otto because I adore the man.
And if Rhaenyra succeeds him, war will follow, do you understand?
Hopefully when Viserys eventually passes away, which is taking a really long time since the man is showing up in the next episode even with the big time jump, then Otto Hightower can finally come back to King's Landing. Going into the Targaryens meeting up with the Velaryons, it feels ironic that I like these setup scenes just as much as the wedding payoff, because there are a lot of good moments here, like the subtle detail of Laener's sword fighting with his lover, alluding early on that he's gay, the breathtaking coast that Rhaenyra and Laenor are walking down, and both of the dialogue scenes within the kingdom. Seeing Corlys awkwardly step around the succession conflict without trying to be rude was very cute, and the tug-of-war between them trying to come to an equal arrangement was well written. The scene after this keeps the quality going where Rhaenys makes a smart observation that they are putting their family in danger by teaming up with Rhaenyra. It's kind of weird how ignorant Corlys is towards that, and even his son's homophobia. I'd assume he'd be a bit smarter, but I guess the man is pretty obsessed with gaining more power, since he came from nothing and is blindsided by those things. Then for the last standout scene, we have Viserys' monologue where he talks about his regrets and his overall lasting image. It's heartbreaking to see this man on his final legs suffering a painful death, but he's enduring all of this anguish so he can try to be a better ruler and be remembered. Despite all of his flaws and making mistakes, that's one aspect of his character that's extremely commendable. He's so wholesome that he wants everyone to love him, and seeing him thinking about different ways his life could have played out is intriguing. The cinematography where the camera slowly pushes in on Viserys is a great touch, and really makes us empathize more with him. Even Lionel Strong during the scene offers a good perspective where he says it's better to have a peaceful rule instead of having a war and being remembered for it. That man is turning out to be a great hand so far, and seems to be one of the only people not acting selfishly, at least so far. It also makes me wonder in this scene if the Maesters are intentionally failing at curing Viserys, and that tying into the whole Maester conspiracy of them disliking the Targaryens and overall having the power to drastically affect people in power. Because even if that's not the case, you can still kind of read into that. Going back to the wedding dinner, even though I dislike the Kristen Cole aspect of the wedding, there are still some other great aspects that don't make the scene really bad. Daemon and Alicent being showstoppers really spices up the wedding and adds some conflict into the mix. Especially Alicent literally just coming in to make a statement that she's pissed off and means business. And Daemon showing up increases the quality of any scene in the show. The moment between Daemon and Sir Gerald Royce was juicy, in which Daemon essentially Uno reverse card Sir Gerald wanting to have him executed by countering with inheriting all of Lady Rhea's land. Sir Gerald's reaction to that was golden and further cements Daemon as a cunning player in the series. Then the overall attention to detail was astounding with the set decorations, the amount of characters on display, and all of the interactions between them. Shooting this scene must have been a very daunting task, and I think the execution of it ended up being pretty good, besides the Sir Kristen portion of it obviously. And before ending the video, it feels crazy to me that we're already transitioning to the older actors. Like it's only been 5 episodes so far and we've gone through years of their lives. This feeling may be more noticeable if we were watching these episodes all at once, but since we're waiting a week between each episode, the time jumps may not feel as noticeable, but so far the pace feels a bit jarring at times. Especially in the case of Sir Kristen Cole's relationship with Rhaenyra, because we go from them having sex for the first time, to Sir Kristen immediately shooting his shot as if they've been lovers for a long time. Regardless though, the casting director is working overtime and finding outstanding actors to keep replacing these characters. Even Laena Velaryon was just replaced for this episode, and in the next one, she's being replaced again. But overall, I think the writing surrounding Kirsten Cole was pretty contrived and stereotypical, and I previously hoped they wouldn't go down this road. Besides that one shortcoming, the episode was still really good, and thank you for watching. Let me know what you thought about episode 5 in the comments.